Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the north, more specifically Winslow, New Jersey. And we're heading into Atlantic City, New Jersey here momentarily, but I wanted to take a quick stop to check out this right here. We have, this is a muffler man. There's a variety of different styles of muffler men that dot the American roadside. You have the traditional square-jawed muffler man. You have the Native American muffler man, which is sometimes considered controversial these days. And then you have this guy. Now this particular style of muffler man, Roadside America calls this the happy half-wit. And other people have compared him to Alfred E. Newman, saying that maybe he was modeled after Mad TV's Alfred E. Newman. Also, I've heard that in the original catalog for these fiberglass statues, he was known as Mortimer Snurd, which is a famous ventriloquist dummy that looks a little bit like him. So as we bid the happy half-wit adieu, I wanted to make just a few comments about New Jersey. This is just me freestyling here. This state confuses me. There's they design the roads. I think the idea is you can never take a left turn. I think because left turns are generally more dangerous, so the traffic is just routed in a strange way. And I bet if you live here in New Jersey, it's really easy. You get very accustomed to it. But when you're from out of state, it's off. It's not, doesn't register with your brain as well, because it's so different than what you're used to. Also, the gas stations here, it is required by law that the gas station is pumped by an attendant. We're not allowed to touch the gas pump. We're not allowed to use the card, your own. You have to give it to a stranger, and he has to do it for you, which it really stresses me out. I don't understand why. That is something I'm very capable of doing myself. I don't understand why they won't let me do it. And I remember the first time I ever came to New Jersey, I went to a gas station. I got out of my car, got ready to pump the gas, and there was a guy standing right behind me, and I thought he was going to mug me. But it turns out he was just working at the gas station, was just, no sir, don't touch those dangerous gas implements. So yeah, gas in New Jersey. If anyone understands, maybe there is a very good reason. If someone knows that there's a good reason, leave a comment in the comment section. But for now, heading into Atlantic City. Follow me. See if this works. Now, no sound. It's been decorroded by the salt water as well. Salt water in the air. James's saltwater taffy, cut to fit the mouth. I always hate when I go to eat saltwater taffy and it just won't fit in my mouth. Take a little stroll here down the Atlantic City Boardwalk. Looks like they have little rickshaw carts being pushed. It's the Shift's Central Pier Arcade. There is a lot of claw machines in here. Just a massive row of claw machines. I have like a shooting gallery here. People shooting at the little Mario symbols. Okay, apparently we have paintball with live targets. Shoot the geek. Okay, so I bought my paintballs here at the ticket booth. I guess I should go put these in the gun. I've actually never done this before, so put the paintballs in there. So you can shoot paintballs at all these different characters. There's Freddy Krueger. There's various Pokemon. There's Sub-Zero. All these angry birds. Look at all that. But let's shoot them with some paint. Alright, shoot this pink guy here. He seems like an easy target. Oh. Just plaster. Oh. Oh, I think I got him. There, got him. Oh my gosh. In addition to the rickshaws, I also have these little mini buses driving on the boardwalk. There's a helicopter. Now, the original Monopoly game was based after Atlantic City, New Jersey, and the streets are actually named after the streets here in Atlantic City. So that's North Carolina Avenue, one of the green spaces. Never liked the green spaces, too expensive. Of course, you can't have Atlantic City without the Atlantic Ocean. That's Steel Pier right there. Has a amusement park. You can see that massive Ferris wheel they have. There's actually a 2-story carousel, although it appears the second story is actually closed off. But yeah, very interesting. You can see, yeah, you can see the horses up there on the second floor are moving, but you got a chain roping it off.
Plus.com. Let Copiers Plus create a program tailor-made for you.
Oh, to go all the way around?
CopiersPlus.com.
We got a slingshot here, armed and ready.
Take down this number or store it on your cell phone.
Oh man. While here in Atlantic City, I did want to stop and check out the Ripley's, believe it or not. They have a very nice exhibit here. While here in Atlantic City, I definitely wanted to check in with the Ripley's, believe it or not. I've been to all the Ripley's, believe it or not, in the United States, but I do like to stop in and check in on them whenever I'm in town. And Ripley's is right here on New York Avenue. That's one of the orange spaces, one of the best spots on the entire board. Heading in, see the world's largest tire and a car parts robot. Let me see. Incredible Hulk there. He's wearing a mask still. He can never be too safe. And heading inside. You can see Wadlow here is actually bursting through the roof. Start off with some freak animals. You got the 2-headed calf, a genuine albino deer, as well as a 2-headed lamb in the back there. And that's a rhea. It's an ostrich-like bird that has 4 legs. I don't know why this freaks me out so much, but this is a statue of Michael Jordan made entirely out of smaller Michael Jordans.
There have been many extraordinarily tall people.
One of my favorite things to see in the different Ripleys is their different Fiji mermaids. You can see they have a long-haired variety here. Some space stuff in this case, including a cosmonaut survival kit and an actual meteorite. I think I can see a space peanut. It's an authentic Olympic torch, actually signed by Muhammad Ali from the 2000 Summer Games in Sydney. Oh my gosh, a human hair bikini. Can you imagine going swimming covered in human, well, I guess a lot of people go swimming covered in human hair, but can you imagine someone else's human hair wrapped around your breasts and groin area? It's a 19th century prosthetic arm. It's got a hook on it. They don't put hooks on prosthetic arms anymore. I guess hooks are good in some situations, like if you're in a fight or you're trying to catch a marlin, but in a lot of situations I think having a hook on your hand might be dangerous. And the crown jewel here at the Ripley's in Atlantic City, the dreaded Jersey Devil skeleton, the most famous cryptid from New Jersey. It's often described as having a horse-like face and wings. Apparently it was a cursed birth when a woman was tired of having babies and said that she hoped the next one was the devil. And it was. And then it flew out of her womb, up the chimney, and out into the New Jersey Pine Barrens. They have a vampire killing kit here right next to the Jersey Devil. But that ain't gonna do nothing. That ain't gonna work. He ain't no vampire. It's a German Wolpertinger, kind of a relative of the jackalope, a taxidermied animal with extra features. And you can see on the chart there, a Wolpertinger can pretty much be anything. Just take the parts of animals you like and stick them together. There's some cockroach art. These cockroaches are painted to be Louis Armstrong, Bob Marley, and Kiss drummer Pete Chris. So you'll see Elvis and Marilyn Monroe. I guess these ones are crickets. Elvis and Marilyn Monroe are crickets. There's Beyonce as a cricket. Not sure who this cricket is. If anyone knows which cricket that is. Oh, okay. I was just checking here. It's Lady Gaga as a cricket. I think in here you see the Chinese bound foot woman behind the desk there. You can see her bound feet. Her feet were transformed into weird little nubs. Ripley's had a contest to see who could send them the strangest mail container, and someone actually used a mailbox to mail something. So apparently you can mail anything, you just gotta put the correct postage on it. There's also Freudian slippers that were mailed. I guess it's Freud, the psychologist, turned into footwear. There's some busts, some of the famed Ripley's characters, the Crocodile Man, the human unicorn Wang, and the Lighthouse Man who has a candle stuck in the hole in his skull. And we have the Cuban eye popper and a double-eyed man. Someone is carrying a mummified falcon in the suitcase. Always a lot of weird portraits at Ripley's. This is Monique, the singer, made out of licorice. And there's the Beatles, made out of chewed gum. It's incredibly disgusting. I have some other Beatles stuff here, including this beetle on a beetle. If you look at the hood of that beetle car, actually there's the rusted face of John Lennon. Here we see Esmeralda, Zoltar's rarely seen wife. Now give her $1 here. There we go.
I am Esmeralda, at your service. Listen closely to my instructions now. Hard work pays off over time, but laziness, it pays off right now. Heed my advice, young one. Relax and enjoy yourself today. You deserve it. And come back with more coins to gain more timeless truths from Esmeralda, the wise gypsy.
Open at your own risk. Well, I'm definitely a risk taker, and I'm gonna risk opening up the screaming chest. Oh, that's a lot of air. What's in there? There's actually old paint supplies. It's laughing at me. Interesting. Didn't even scream. It just blew on me and laughed. Heading into La Chateau here. And look at this. This is a piece of Ripley's history here. Oh, see him flash that picture. This is the original couple used in the picture-taking gag. See this gentleman, you know, you walk in, you think you're interrupting their picture, the flash goes off. Almost in all Ripley's now. I think this may be the last one, but in all Ripley's now, they replaced them with a younger couple, like a early 20s couple, but here in Atlantic City, they still have the older couple here with that old vintage camera. And yes, it pained me to say vintage camera because I used to have a camera exactly like that when I started taking pictures. This section actually shows off the Chateau in miniature. It was an exhibit that first debuted at the $1 Million Pier here in Atlantic City. All these different scenes here made in miniature. You can see it's expansive exhibit. All these different scenes here.
Considered by experts to be the finest miniature exhibit in the world.
Though I'm not sure what's here behind this creepy curtain. It's Anne Cleves, Queen of England. Oh, there's a button here. I guess we can hit that. Something's gonna happen. Oh yeah, look at that. Interesting. This is Lady Raleigh. She was the wife of Sir Walter Raleigh, who was beheaded, but apparently after he was beheaded for the rest of her life, she carried around his severed head on a platter. Looks like he's turning a little blue there, but says that she's the world's most devoted widow. I wonder if my wife's going to carry my severed head around after I get decapitated. Let's see all these different miniature scenes. Ooh, I like this one here, the little den with the human skeleton in the case there. It says primitive jungle, a head. It says a shrunken head, meaning a head as in A-H-E-A-D. Primitive jungle, a head. We have a person there with discs implanted in their lips. We have a bejeweled monkey skull. And of course, every Ripley's must, by decree, have a shrunken head. We got two specimens here. It says this is a Mandan Indian Okipa torture rite. You can see the man there hanging by his chest meat. The Jack Sparrow there, made entirely out of car parts. There's an Inuit clock made entirely from whalebone. We have a crucifix fish that looks like Jesus Christ. And I heard a story that the original crucifix fish that was discovered and written about actually claimed that it would actually quote the Bible. It would speak and quote the Bible. Now this is a little confusing. They have a men's room, a woman's room, and an end room? Let's see.
Hey, close that door!
Who's this room here? We have this game to crush these ugly creatures by stomping on their faces. So that's on the floor, and then we have the Berlin Wall on the wall. And look, there's Mr. Robert Ripley doing his best Forrest Gump impersonation. Okay, I remember this room here. This is like the disaster room, just all the horrible things that can happen to people. Here's one of the most notorious victims of head impalement, Mr. Phineas Gage. So he got a metal tamping rod, shot through his head. I actually don't think it was stuck in there like they're portraying it. I think it was blown clean through, but he would actually, have his brain studied. He didn't have any major brain damage from the rod going through his head, but he would tour the rest of his life with his tamping rod. He would actually take the rod on tour and visit different cities. And apparently after he had the metal rod blown through his head, he started being a real jerk. He said his behavior changed. I think that was one of the only differences, is that he started being way more of a jerk. There's another impalement victim, Mr. Ivory Hill. He had a wooden plank driven through his chest. It pushed his heart to the side. It crushed one of his lungs, and but he was fine. Yeah, he was fine. This is the opposite of Dracula. He does not succumb to a wood stake through the chest. This is a headless hen here. I thought they'd be talking about Mike the Headless Chicken, but they're actually talking about a different chicken. This is Biddy the Headless Chicken. Yeah, it is possible for a chicken to live without its head, surprisingly. These kicking legs here represent a man that was blown through a brick wall because of a boiler explosion in Canton, Ohio. I think if you went headfirst through a brick wall, you probably wouldn't be kicking your legs. Yeah, definitely a strong impalement theme in this room. Just call this the impalement room. I think it'll be safe. This is Jack Thompson of Louisiana. impaled by a big 6-foot-long piece of metal. Yeah, you better hurry up. I think you better head straight to the hospital to get that taken care of. Uh-oh, actually looks like the ambulance has crashed into something there. And we have a dangling cosmonaut in a cosmonaut survival suit. The bee suit belongs to a man named Joe Tomator, who is so allergic to bees that he wears a bee suit 24/7. This well here is a North Carolina woman, Miss Alton Jordan, who apparently fell in a well while pregnant and then gave birth to the baby in the well, and they were fine. I guess that's really the positive message here in the impalement room. Something horrible may happen to you, but you know, you'll be fine. Beware of mirages. Oh, we see a bathing lady getting ready to go into the ocean here, and oh my gosh, she evaporated. It's an interesting casket there. This casket actually made to look like a Pan Am airplane. Apparently, I think it's Ghana in Africa where these coffins are popular. Heading into this spooky cemetery. You can see some famous graves here, including the notorious grave of Lester Moore. 4 slugs from a .44, no less, no more. Look into this spooky crypt here. Looks like there's a moonshine jug. Oh, wait a minute. It's crawling out of that jug. It's some sort of leprechaun. Oh, it's a ghostly leprechaun.
On the old ashen there. I think it's time to wet me whistle.
Some famous epitaphs, including Mel Blanc, whose gravestone says, "That's all, folks." And the famed Iron Maiden of Nuremberg. Some torture devices, including a Chinese hand crusher, I guess for crushing hands, of course. And this is a English birching bench. It said this is for publicly punishing male sex offenders. They would strap them to this bench and whip them with some birch sticks. There is a 17th century German executioner's outfit, which yeah, looks suitably unsettling. And a Chinese execution sword. Oh, and who do we have here? Vlad the Impaler. All we have to do is walk out onto this little porch here to get a better look at Vlad. Oh no! It collapsed. So embarrassed that my porch collapsed right in front of Vlad the Impaler. This is a pig snout brank. And we put this on the head of a gossipy individual, and presumably they would not gossip because they have a big metal pig's head strapped to their head. Oh, this creepy face here has a jewel in its mouth. Maybe I can just steal this jewel and take it home with me. Oh gosh! He spit compressed air at me. Beware of falling rocks. The old mine. Oh. The old mine is very colorful and disorientating. It's an arm wrestling challenge game. You can actually, I guess, arm wrestle here, and you pick your opponent who you want to arm wrestle against. You can wrestle Trixie, Shang, Atlas, Turk. It looks a lot like Saddam Hussein. So thank you for joining me here in Atlantic City on the boardwalk and revisit the Atlantic City Ripley's, one of my favorite of the Ripleys. If you'd like to see the other Ripleys that I've been to, as well as other roadside attractions, amusement parks, haunted houses, museums, and other fun stuff, check out some of the older videos on this channel. I've been to the 48 continental United States filming those things. And if you'd like to help support the channel, consider donating to Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month. Also selling enamel pins in the Etsy shop. Until next time, this one's in the bag.